What is free trade? Many people have heard from the mainstream media and those promoting new trade deals that it is a win-win proposition. It enables nations to focus on their core competitive advantage, thereby maximizing economic output and fostering income growth for their citizens. This sounds great. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Although this sounds good, a majority of the public doesn't truly understand what free trade is. For a better understanding, let's look at it from a different perspective and add the word equitable. In other words, how can you level the playing field globally when it comes to free trade? Let's examine what is needed in order to have equitable free trade. First, taxes must be comparable. You can imagine trade between the country of America, who has high corporate tax, and a country of Singapore, who has lower corporate tax. Who wins in the trade swap? Obviously Singapore, because they have the lower tax. 2, a single monetary system must be in use. Countries use paper today as their monetary system. If a country increases the amount of paper in circulation by increasing the speed on the printing presses, this destroys any fair trade agreement based on a stable system. The system has become unstable. 3, there must be uniform business law. There are countries like America that have many business laws such as OSHA and the EPA. On the other hand, places like China have very few regulations on their industry. America cannot compete. Our products are more expensive due to regulatory laws versus countries with little or no regulation. 4, similar business ethics must prevail. In the United States, there is a law that says we cannot pay a bribe to anyone inside or outside our country in order to do business. In many countries, such as Mexico, bribes are just part of their culture. 5, there must be uniform wage rates. Many countries have some kind of minimum wage legislation, but let's consider it when it comes to free trade. If in one country you pay $15 an hour to make a shirt, and in another country 50 cents to make the same shirt, guess who wins? 6, maximum labor mobility must exist across borders. As the economy and production changes, companies will move to where the labor exists, or labor must be mobile. This eventually destroys borders. 7, there must be freedom from the threat of war. History has proven time and again that war stops trade and can destroy economies. 8, all the above would have to be enforced by a single world government. There has to be some sort of government to enforce all of this. Trade agreements may make tariffs more compatible, but you can see that there is more to equitable free trade than tariffs. Obviously, trade is good between individual countries, but as you can see, it needs to be equitable. This is impossible between groups of countries without firm control by an international government or agency. This is why the 8th point is so dangerous. We cannot allow trade agreements to erode the independence of the American people or our Constitution by having an international government or regulatory agency rule over American law, the Constitution, or business. Modern trade agreements and partnerships would diminish our independence and the Constitution. The very idea of calling these agreements partnerships demonstrates that they are economic mergers, not trade in the classic sense, and therefore they need to be rejected by Congress if we, the American people, are to maintain our freedom. Let's get back to the traditional trade we engaged in for 200 years and built this country into the economic miracle we enjoy, and stay away from huge trade partnerships that build international government.